You're listening to Nothing's Off the Table, the podcast where no subject is too taboo to discuss. Now, please welcome your hosts, Andy Barker and Drew Del Pree.
Oh man, it's been a while.
Weird. I'm freaking out because I can't hear it, because it's not coming through my headphones. Whatever. Anyway,
Right?
you're right. It has been a while. We're back.
So what's up, man?
a lot,
That's
and geez, man, I don't even know where to begin. I can't believe it's October,
peace in the Middle East.
right? Everybody else loves our president, but our own country.
It's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy, man.
Anyway, so what is up? Baseball season's is it over for you?
Not yet. I got games wrapping up this weekend, a couple of next week. I think November. I think my last game is 26th. So they're playing deep into the month, but nothing in November. So I'll be done in November. But had a rain out earlier the week, a high school game.
They're still playing high school ball.
Yeah, they had a Colt game, pony ball Colt game. So that's 14, 15, I think, or 13.
Okay.
I think it's 15U.
More like a club, but not the actual high school, just high school age.
No, like the kids moving up,
Got it.
give them a couple of games, or that's what
Yeah.
they told me. Practice,
Typical fall ball.
yeah. Guys
Yeah.
going from JV to V,
To
give them
the
a couple of
V.
games.
They're going to the V.
Going to the VAR, yeah. They get the letter. They're gonna letter in baseball. Yeah.
Going to the V. Anyway, all right. If you're not watching the show, you can only hear it. Thank God. And we'll move right along from there. So you want to format a little something different with the wrap up, right?
Oh, man, there's no changes. We got articles. We got whatever. Let's hit it, man.
All right. Well, let's fucking hit it.
I love that, man. All right, hey, welcome to the wrap. A couple of stories you may not have gotten to over the week, right? But first story, FBI investigates mysterious crash near Area 51. A 432nd Wing aircraft crashed just 12 miles east of Area 51, prompting a week-long flight restriction due to national security. Investigators later found signs of tampering, including an inert training bomb and an unidentified aircraft panel. The FBI and Air Force OSI are probing the incident, but details remain tightly sealed. Another crash at Area 51. What could that possibly be? Second story, scientists claim alien DNA may exist in humans. I've known that all along. Have you talked to some of you? And a controversial study suggests that some humans may carry traces of alien DNA, implying possible genetic intervention. This was published in Strange Days News October, and I know most of you subscribe to Strange Days News, so good for you if you did catch that in the monthly news. But for those of you who didn't, yeah, a study is suggesting that humans may carry traces of alien DNA from possible genetic intervention during ancient times. Claim has sparked debate across the scientific community. You don't say. I can't see why they would be debating that. I mean, if it's peer reviewed, it must be true. Third story, Florida firefighter arrested for tampon vandalism. They want to read that again? Florida firefighter arrested for tampon vandalism. An Orange County firefighter was arrested after allegedly throwing dozens of tampons across her ex-boyfriend's lawn. That did not go the way I thought it was. Let me say that again. Her ex-boyfriend's lawn. She threw dozens of tampons in a bizarre act of harassment. The incident led to charges. That will happen. Public service announcement: if you do throw dirty tampons on your boyfriend's lawn, you could be arrested. Bacteria inside tumors may help fight cancer, and that is a wrap. Some stories you might have missed from the week.
That is freaking gross. I mean, think about it, man. Yeah, easily you could wrap up an assault charge on something like that. That's disgusting, man.
Oh yeah, man. That's like, that's almost like spitting on people, man. That's chemical.
Yeah. I was never mind that. I was saying that story for you later. That's not for public consumption.
I
On that.
understand.
Almost slipped there for a second, but
Thank
that's all
God.
right.
Now you're in St. Louis, Missouri. Minnesota has the tampons in the boys' bathroom from Tim Walls.
Right. Tampon Tim.
Tampon Tim.
How do you look at yourself in the mirror, man?
It's so interesting. I had a guy. I went to work the polls, and I had a guy talking about the transgender stuff. He's like, "It's such a small minority. Why do you guys even care?" And I was like, "Well, because definitions matter, man. I mean, if we don't agree on terms, how are we negotiating? It's not in good faith."
Right.
Well, why
Nothing.
don't you just accept it? Here's the lie. And here's the lie, right? And tell me if you feel like this isn't accurate. The lie isn't, you can live your life as a woman if you're a man. You could try to do that at all you want, right? You can, wear clothes, you can, talk that way, act that way, take on the traditional gender roles of that gender. You can do all of that, right? You can do practically pretty much anything you can do, right? I mean, I hate to say it that simply. You can quote me on that. You can do anything, basically, you can do. You can quote me on that. But what the lie is when they tell these people, and you'll be accepted. That's
Right.
the lie. What you have to tell these people is you can do all of that if you want. You can do, again, my quote, you can do what you can do. But I don't have to accept it. And many people won't. And you just have to understand that as you navigate life, there will be a section of the community that will never understand what you're doing. And they're not going to accept it. So just don't engage with them and move on. But instead, what they tell them is you can do it and you'll be accepted. They'll love you. They'll praise you. They'll sing your beauty. And instead, have you looked at most of the men that transit? They are not. Like Dylan Mulvaney does not look attractive to me.
No, it's so painfully obvious for most of them. You can have all the surgery in the world, man, and it's just there's certain things that give it away.
You can't hide your hands, my man.
Sure can't.
And that'll give the age of a woman away too.
Oh, for
Like
sure.
when you look at her hands, like they don't put makeup on their hands. They put makeup everywhere else, but they don't put it on their hands.
You had said something, and I wanted to respond to it, but now I've completely lost it. Completely. Oh, there it is. Your quote there. I think you might have got that out of the Kamala Harris book of quotes.
you can quote me. You can quote me on that. They may even quote me on Strange Days News.
Vinny's right. It's always a caricature of the hair, the facial hair, the short sleeves, bicep, tap, boobs. I mean, come on. Fucking, if you're being so brave and stepping out, be fucking original.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing is and that's what I mean. Like that's where the lie is, right? That everyone that looks at somebody who's transgender goes, it's not right. And then they make a choice whether they're going to accept it and entertain it, right? Or be adamantly against it, right? One or the other, right? You make a choice. But you can't convince me that a normal person looks at a transgender person, like a transgender woman, and goes, man, she's beautiful. No, they look at a transgender woman and they go, that used to be a guy. Or
Yeah.
I think that used to be a guy. Or that looks like a guy. And then they decide whether they're going to entertain it or not. And I think that's where they go wrong when they treat these patients, these mental health patients. That's where they go wrong. Not telling them, hey, no one's going to look at you right away and go, you're a woman. No, they're going to look at you and go, well, something's not right there. And then they'll decide whether or not to entertain it, which is why you have to be prepared to not interact with those people. But they don't. Instead, they tell them you'll be loved, you'll be respected, you'll be beautiful, everyone's going to. And then when they go through the surgeries and none of that happens, none of it happens. No one looks at them and goes, oh, yeah, that's a chick. When none of that happens, the depression's even worse, which is why you don't see any change in the suicide rates post-surgical intervention. There's no change. And in fact, the Denmark model, which is what is the treatment program used right now. It's called the Denmark model, and again, don't listen to me, right? Look all that stuff up. Created in Denmark by, I think they followed 20 patients or something, and then Sweden picked it up, and then after 2 years, Sweden was like, "Wait a minute, okay, obviously there wasn't enough people in this study, right?" So Sweden was the first country to adopt it from their neighbor, this gender affirming care model, and ended it after 2 years because they realized it was wrong. Britain has ended it. Every country has ended it except for us. Did you see there's a course in front of the Supreme? Take two. Lewis talking to Andy. Did you see there's a case in front of the Supreme Court for religious freedom, freedom of speech for conversion therapy?
No.
But you are familiar with conversion therapy,
Yeah.
right? So for those
Pray
who
the
aren't,
gay away.
what's up?
Pray the gay away.
Yeah, I mean that's part of it. But for those who don't know, it's when mental health patients approach providers, with sexual urges they don't want, or they want to align themselves with their faith more, which is why, like you heard Andy say, pray away the gay, right? I mean, it's not really like that. I mean, there is professional mental health intervention, but churches do offer prayer circles and things. So anyway, 27 states have banned conversion therapy, right? And so this female therapist in Colorado has sued Colorado, saying, "What I thought, because." So the pandemic has done many things, but it's put a lot of people on the record that healthcare is between a doctor and the patient.
Mm-hmm.
So if a patient wants conversion therapy, it should not be illegal for a provider to engage in conversion therapy. And so what she's doing is she's using all the government's quotes to say, how could you possibly have this law? And she sued, and it's at the Supreme Court, and they're going to decide. And it is not looking good for anti-conversion therapy. It is not looking good for that. The Supreme Court, again, and it's all the here's the other thing, right? The people banning conversion therapy are all the people marching, your body, your choice.
Right.
Except when the choices don't line up with their worldview. Right? It's your body, your choice until it's the vaccination schedule. It's your body, your choice until it's conversion therapy. It's your body, your choice, right? Until there's things that they don't want you doing.
Man, you hit it right on the head. And that's always been the problem.
Yeah.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Absolutely.
But selfish, mentally ill folk in there. I'm not saying all Democrats are.
So have you
majority, but
right? Have you been following The Rock traveling to Earth?
Oh, the AI, whatever, 3-eyed, whatever, yeah, Atlas, whatever.
So Avi Loeb, I think it's his name. I gotta look that up. Hold on, let's check with our producer, which is me and you. More you than me.
What up, Bear?
But we look our own shit up. We don't have a producer.
Yeah, HR is supposed to be finding this one.
Avi Loeb. This guy's insane. He's they were interviewing him the other day. But basically he has free Substacks and stuff. His stuff is free. But he thinks that that's a Here's what he thinks. In his interview, he was very clear. He thinks we should make sure that that's a rock and not something thrown at us by a neighbor. That's all he's saying. It's moving too fast. It's doing weird things. He's not here to call it a spacecraft. He's just here to say, I think we ought to be taking a bigger look on all of this. Here's the right. I saw Mark Baer say we should send Ben Affleck to drill them. You know what's funny? Before I finished all this, about a month before the election, Tucker Carlson interviewed a reporter who predicted all the violence that's happening right now, and he said it's only going to get worse. Right? It's not going to go away. right? They're not gonna. Trump's got 4 years. It's gonna get worse. And his point was half the population is gonna see the election of Donald Trump through the lens of the other half of the population hates me and wants me dead, because that's all the media has been saying. And so you're seeing it now, right? These people are freaking out, and it's a lot of trans violence and some other stuff, because they feel they're under attack. Their lifestyle's under attack, and maybe it is, and for good reason. I mean, naked parades in the street are a little absurd. Okay, so anyway, that guy. They asked, like, what else do you think is going to happen? And he said, the government's going to alien hoax us to try to lock us down again because viruses won't work anymore. He said, but I predict you're going to see a ramp up in alien, and they're going to try to alien hoax us. So I always bear that in mind. Again, a month before the election. And then after Trump got elected, we had a UFO panel and a couple of other things, right? And now you have Javier. This anyway.
Well, check this out.
Go ahead.
It goes even deeper than that. 2 years ago, or maybe it was even 3. The dude's name, Jeremy Corbell, predicted. He said basically the same thing. There's going to be a false flag. There's going to be some kind of alien scare.
Yeah.
And he even said it would be in the form of like some sort of ship. Well, look what we got. We got this comet.
Right. And so you got this guy. Now this guy Loeb says there was a wow signal from the 70s. And I never heard of this, but I looked it up. It's insane, right?
Yes.
Apparently there's this 1977 researcher at one of the university listening stations, space listening stations, caught a signal. And they were never able to decode it. They were never able to do a lot with it. But what this guy Loeb is saying is the trajectory of this spacecraft and the speed that it's moving at puts the origin of the signal at a 6% chance it did not come from that object.
Huh.
So Loeb is saying he thinks that thing sent a signal out because the time and everything lines up. It would have been behind planets. It would have been, all these things. And, so for it to hit you, but he thinks it sent the wow signal. And he said, to this day, we've never translated the wow signal. We have never figured out what that was. Other than the guy who heard it was so enamored, was so like, what the hell? He wrote wow on the printout.
Right.
That's why they call it the wow signal.
Mark thinks you're sucking on helium.
Mark, I'm sick. I'm like super sick, bro.
You're sick, and I've lost my voice from yelling all week.
Yeah, man. I'm not feeling good at all. I got a scratchy throat. I missed jujitsu all week. I canceled classes at lunch. And then I had to miss the kids' class.
I'm leaving that one alone completely.
Yeah.
Not touching that with a 10-foot pole. Nope.
I hate the kids. I don't mind teaching the kids' class. I shouldn't say I hate the kids' class. Here's what I hate. I hate that I'm getting older and it's getting harder.
Yeah.
And what's harder isn't like fighting these kids. It's not falling on them and killing them or breaking their arm or breaking their leg because I outweigh them by 100 pounds. And jujitsu's very close. And so I'm like teaching them how to throw me, or how to do different things. And I have to like make sure I can support my weight at all points in that movement so that when the kid fails, I don't collapse on him and break his wrist or his foot or his ankle or, Andy, you get in those odd position frame, it's so easy to, and I just, so what I'm getting at is I'm almost 50, man. It is getting harder to like reach back and like catch myself and like do these things. And our class is getting bigger and more popular. And I'm like, I'm going to hurt myself. Anyway.
Telling you, once you hit 50, it's all downhill.
That's what I've heard.
Fuck. I mean, it's what a friend said.
Huh.
I'm still a spring chicken.
Billy Bruce says, line up for the silver bullet. You know, Billy, I never gave anyone a silver bullet. I didn't want to put anything in your ass just as much as you didn't want anything up there. I never woke up in the morning and like rolled out my thermometers like fucking crack pipes thinking, whose asshole am I going to get today? And it's nice and hot.
Really? Man, I had fucking list every day.
Oh, not me, man.
So
I know.
BP.
No, I didn't want to look at anyone's
Okay.
hairy ass.
I made my list weeks in advance.
But they would always say that. They'd be like, I want the silver bullet. I'm like, I don't want to put it in your ass either, buddy. That's okay. If you could drink water, drink. I don't need your temperature. Just drink. Doesn't change the treatment anyway.
I agree with your point.
I mean, it kind of does, you know, but there's other signs by the time we get there, right? I mean, like the dry versus wet. You know what I'm saying? Right. There's going to be other signs. I'm going to feel that he's hot. I don't need to know 103 versus 104. I know he's getting core cooled immediately. You know what I mean?
I need to feel that he's hot. All I have to do is look at him to see.
Well, that's what I'm saying, right? Like, I mean, there's so many other signs that come long before it. And like I said, it doesn't change the treatment anyway.
I was talking about you were kind of hot.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there was an interesting. Yeah, I did go over my head. So there's an interesting study in Lejeune I was talking to somebody about. Were you familiar with that? With the heat casualties? They did. They did a study on how to cool heat casualties, and they actually like came up with a very innovative way. You never heard of this?
I don't think so. No.
Oh yeah, man, this shit is crazy. What's up, Joe? Not tongue punching, but well, I'll tell you what they did come up with though for the heat casualties was a mixture, and I forget. You'd have to go read the study, but it's Camp Lejeune heat casualty study, and what they came up with was a mixture of isopropyl alcohol, water, and ice.
Fuck, we've been doing that forever.
What's up?
I said I've been doing that forever. I didn't know
the isopropyl alcohol.
Yeah.
Why do you do it?
Because it helps evaporate quicker.
That's what they found in the study. The ice water cools the body down, and then what they found was people were wet and freezing.
Yeah.
But the isopropyl alcohol evaporates. So what they found was the proper mixture for the best evaporation, you know, the best ratio to cool the body and have it evaporate and then keep the sheets cool with the patient. So
that's cool, man. That's really cool.
It's really neat. So now like units are required to bring a cooler with that, you know, thing.
Because something I've been doing that I had no scientific proof or anything, I just, you know, when something works, it works. You know what I mean? But the fact that they actually did research on it and proved that it does work, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. It's about 20, gosh, when did they do that? 14, 13? Maybe earlier. But, or when they finished it. But yeah, it was really good. Really good stuff that they came out with.
That's awesome, man. I love hearing shit like that. That's you know, once again, the military leading the way on medicine practices that the civilians will end up using.
Of course. You know, somebody told me, you know, in warfare, medicine, you know, is forced to take leaps and bounds. That's really where you get your most advancements.
Yeah, it's amazing. So you remember, it just reminds me of Jeff Cook. You remember Jeff Cook?
Yeah.
Yeah. Seeing him on that damn, I think it was, maybe it was a Discovery Channel show.
Yeah, it was the ER, like Iraq ER or something. Yeah, season 2, episode 1 or something.
Something like that, yeah.
Or season 1, episode 2. It's like 1-2 or 2-1.
Something like that. Yeah, it was kind of cool. So I've seen a couple people that I know on those types of shows now.
Yeah, a guy I was stationed with in the Constitution is on one of those Netflix documentaries of submarine school.
Oh, no kidding.
He's an instructor.
Huh. Yeah, I'll make sure I skip that one.
The submarine school.
Yeah, that was what a joke that was. So they call it BESS, you know, Basic Enlisted Submarine School. And I get it. It's designed for the junior kids right out of boot camp, man. But, you know, when you go to sub-IDC school, you have to go through it. So
sure.
You got a whole class full of semi-senior guys, most of us with at least one warfare device. And and the instructors hate it because they know they can't control it. You know what I mean?
Oh
it's
yeah.
something we have to do. Put the check in the box. But yeah, it's pretty funny.
Oh, I remember being in field med and we had a first class and all the instructors were seconds.
Yeah.
You know. And I mean, he was a surface guy. I talked to him a little bit. He was an older guy, and he's like, "This is my last duty. I'm just
Oh
trying to
shit!
get
Look who
some
just
money."
jumped in the room.
What's up, man?
What's up?
Yo. Hey, if you put any comments in, make sure you address those as chief.
Yeah, I'll give a shit.
Hey, so anyway, it's like in this first class, right? And I remember we had this HM2, right, division, and then we had a supply HM2 come, and the division guy hated the supply guy, and I'm brand new, so I don't know any of this, right?
Right.
I just know you could tell he does not like this guy. And just to fast forward, they end up getting in an argument, and the first class ends up having to step in and pull them both outside.
Oh shit!
Like the student. And it went, and the guy was like, "I'm an instructor," and he was like, "And I'm a first class, and you won't be stationed here forever. So come in the hallway and talk to me now, or pay later." And he was like, so dude was like, "Okay," and they went in the hallway. And this was a different military, right? This is 1995, 96, 1996.
Oh, yeah.
October-ish. So him threatening those dudes' career. I mean, that shit happened all the time, man.
Yeah.
We got threatened all the time.
That was right before Clinton fucked everything up.
Right. And so anyway, he pulls him outside, and it all boiled over. This wasn't the time he pulled him outside, but this was when we figured out, okay, it's real, right? This isn't like a game. This is real. They hate each other.
Mhm.
He came in faded camis, and the division guy ate his fucking lunch in front of all of us. He just flipped out about him having faded camis. And him, dude, being like, these are my field camis. And I still remember this, right? I mean, this got 30, 40 years later, almost, 30 years later. And I just remember him like lighting him up for field camis, and there's no such thing, and get your fucking shit together, and you're an instructor, and this is why, no one should come from support units here. It should just be division corpsmen. And he's just lighting him up, man, in front of all of us.
Was this Lejeune or Pendleton?
It was Lejeune.
Okay. All right. Never mind then.
It was Lejeune. So there's a big difference. So for people who don't know, there's a big difference between East Coast and West Coast Navy and military in general, right? If you're on the East Coast, it's very easy for a congressman or a senator to jump in a car and drive down and see how their money's being spent. So you're always anal. They're always on the rules, right? There's E9s with nothing to do but sit at the goddamn exchange. There's actually E9s that have been ordered to sit at the exchange and just correct uniforms in the parking lot. That's it. That's all they do.
Yep.
Catch you walk. I remember I went to the exchange one time. I was across the parking lot, clearly looking at something, and some guy crossed the parking lot to tell me I didn't salute him. And I was like, oh, okay. I just couldn't believe, I'm looking at we are at opposite ends, man. And this dude was like, it didn't matter. I should look up, and I need to pay attention, and I'm in a fleet concentration area, and my mentor should be telling me all this. And I just shut them. It reminds me of the time I was in Iwakuni taking a kid around, and I went to the post office, and it was a little door. I opened up the door to the post office, and the kid's in crutches, right? I hold the door for the kid in crutches. He goes in. I continue to hold the door for the officer behind him and greet him and say, "Good morning, sir." He stops and says, "Do we forget to salute? Do we forget all customs and courtesies?" And I was looking at the door, looking at him. I shut it in his face, gave him the salute, and I went the other way. Even though I had to go in, I went the other way.
Right.
I was like, I can't believe I'm holding the door, and I greeted you with the greeting of the day. I'm holding it with my saluting hand.
What a douche.
You saw the guy with crutches. It wasn't like the guy with crutches went in and I waited 5 minutes because I saw a colonel and I wanted to hold the door for him.
The only time I ever did anything like that was it was in the exchange parking lot of Norfolk, and there were a couple of warrant officers standing around, right? Bunch of junior enlisted because it's at lunchtime. Everybody's going in and out,
Yeah.
right? And I walked by them and they didn't salute. I get it, they're warrants. So I came back. I said, "Hey, fellas, uh, I really don't give a shit, but you are not setting the example for these junior sailors." I said, "And I guarantee you, you will be probably the first ones to bitch when they don't fucking salute you.
Oh
How
yeah.
about we do the right thing for the sailor's sake?"
Yeah.
And surprisingly, I didn't get any shit for it because of the way I approached it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
if I said,
There's certainly an art.
"Excuse
Uh,
me."
my first, I shared an office with this lieutenant in Yokosuka, Japan. That was my first duty station. I was in primary care. Our office was in the back hallway by the exit door, or like 2 or 3 offices down from the exit door, right? Where you can go out the back, shoot to McDonald's, out to the exchange if you wanted to, right? You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
On the base side, education and training was across that little trailer thing. Um, that used to not be there. Anyway, long story longer. I share the office with this lieutenant. He's a prior chief. He's cool as hell. He's a prior dental tech chief. He's hilarious. I don't realize how good I have it, right? Like I'm getting like free career advice from this guy. Later on, I appreciate all of it, right? I changed the radio one day. He bitches. He comes in. He says, "Never touch the radio. It's my radio. I don't ever want you to touch it again." I said, "Okay, no problem." So he leaves. He comes back. I tape the entire office. I mean, I took tape and I split everything in half. I split everything. The monitor, I split it all. I mean, I took time. I put tape down the curtains. I put tape down. I put for everything. He walked in. He goes, "What the fuck is this?" I said, "Well, sir, we share an office here. I made the lines clear. And as you can see, the radio is on my side. So we'll be
No,
listening to
you.
what I want to listen to." And without missing a beat, he was like, "Fucking idiot. The door's on my side. Guess you're working late." And left. He says he didn't miss a beat. Didn't miss a beat. You fucking idiot. The door's on my side. Guess you're working late. And then he just left. So real cool guy. So I would come in and he would be like hurrying up, changing. And I'm like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "Oh man, I got to run to the store." And I'm like, "Well, just go. It's like right there. You're wasting time." And he's like, "Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? It's easy for you to go to the store and not have to salute anyone and come back. Do you know how many assholes like you I'm going to run into?" He goes, "My arm will be sore by the time I get to McDonald's." He goes, "No way, bud. No way." So I'm sitting there and I'm like, "But remember, I'm brand new." So I'm like, "But is it? I thought it was like an honor to be saluted." And he's like, "Yeah, the first time, not the fucking 437,000." This is the same guy who he's like, "Yeah, I got selected to chief and I went and became an officer." And I was like, "Why would you do that?" He was like, "Money, idiot." He's like, "That chief," he goes, "That chief BS is awesome. It's great. Don't get me wrong. Buy into it. It'll make your career wonderful. But when you get the chance for more money, go take that too." He goes, don't pass up money for this is gonna end someday, man. That's why I say, like, I didn't appreciate how good I had it working for him until, years later. But when he would change, like when you talked about the saluting, he
Right.
was like, "You have no idea, man. You have no idea. I can't move without running into 12 of you."
So right, because when I was in Pensacola and I was stationed at the clinic, I was part of the Naval Air Technical Training Center clinic. There's
Yeah.
5,000 students there, man.
Yeah.
And I was like, hell no, I'm not doing this.
He told me the warrant officers are the worst. I said, why are they the worst? He said, "Those fucks, they see me like hospital. They see you come, they space out." So you can't get them in a group. Like they know. They know. They know the pain.
That's when you stop.
They said they space out. So you got a 1, 2, 3. Like, really? Really?
I just stop.
Right? Go the other way. Well, he would change. He just changed. He just changed.
You know, the funny warrant officers are unique creatures, man. For the most part, I love them. I had this, the W5s are very rare, obviously. Well,
Right.
I worked when I was at Beastmaster Unit 2. I'd worked with this. I think he was either a 2 or a 3 at the time, and great dude, man. We got along great, worked well together. You know, both went our separate ways. Well, I'm on a plane. Remember when I went to Diego Garcia?
Maybe.
Yeah, in Japan. I volunteered to go over there. Well,
Oh, yeah.
guess who's on the plane? The very same plane going to Diego Garcia.
That man.
That man, and it was like huge reunion, right?
Yeah.
So fast forward a little bit. I leave Japan and go to freaking Portsmouth at the clinic at Little Creek, and I'd kept in contact with him, told her where I was going and everything. And all I hear is, "Sir, you can't go back there, sir. Sir, you can't go back there." Open the door to my office, and in walks Bosun Bars. They're like, "Sir, you can't." And he just looks at me and goes, "Do you want to handle this? You want me to?"
Yeah.
I said, "He's okay. I don't want your feelings to get hurt." But they just do whatever they want and don't give a shit.
I hear you. Man. You just reminded me of a story from a time gone. You can't do this anymore. Do you remember when before 9/11 you used to be able to take tours of FBI headquarters? You could go and get in a general line or your school, right? But you could just walk up to the FBI headquarters, jump in line, and get a tour. And they used to have yellow footprints all throughout the building. And, you would take a tour. It was all guided tour. So I'm going to D.C. with a friend of mine. We're in high school. We're going to visit my sister. She goes to Villanova University, or maybe she's already, I don't know. Maybe I don't know why we're in D.C. But we're visiting her. And my cousin is now a high-level forensic dentist and DNA scientist at the Bureau. Like, he's gone to London to testify on DNA evidence. He helped identify the bodies in Waco. So he's FBI agent, right, since the 80s. When I was a kid, right, showing me the shotgun in the car, right, and you're a dentist, like, yeah, like, right? Like, every agent has a shotgun and a, pistol and a jacket and a hat, and he's like kind of explaining things to me, and he's like telling me the shotgun's specially designed so that it's loud, it's louder than what you buy off the shelf, so that it gets a crowd's attention so that people know. He said it's purposely designed to be loud, racking. I thought that was interesting. He's just telling me these things, talking about the jacket and the hat, and there's ways they identify themselves. And he told me a female agent was just recently shot running up on a crime scene for not following the procedures. Right, this was way back. So he didn't tell me how to do those things. He's just telling me,
there's a process.
There's a right, so people can't just do it. So like, even because I was like, you just keep it in your car. What if somebody stole your car? He's like, they're not going to get far. Right? They're not going to. All right. So anyway, long story longer. Go to DC with my friend and call my cousin. And he says, yeah, I'll put you on the list. Just walk up to the podium, tell them you're on the list. You're here to see me. And they'll bring you right in. And so my sister said she did it, right? She said, yeah, I went in, I called him, went to the podium, and they took me right in. So I said, okay. So me and him, we walk around DC, me and my buddy. And, he said, just come around 10 o'clock or something, right? So we're walking around. Again, you can't do any of this anymore, right? I mean, kids, we'd get fucking raped or something, right? I mean, I don't know. I always assume I'll get raped because I'm good looking. But so we're walking around DC, and we get to the FBI headquarters, and I go up to the podium, and I give them my name, and I say I'm here for my cousin. My cousin told me to come here and give me my name, and I give him his name. And she looks at the paperwork, and she's like, "Yeah, just if you go over there, we'll come get you." I'm like, "Okay." So we go over there, and we're waiting about 20 minutes, right? Good 20 minutes. I'm like, I think she put us in line. So I go back and I'm like, hey, I'm supposed to be on a list, can you call up? And she's like, I don't have your name on a list. Okay. So, just you can go over to the feeder line or yeah, I don't know what to tell you. Okay. But you're not on my list. All right. So, you know, I'm like, okay. I'm like, well, do you have a phone I can use or something? She's like, no. And I'm like, this is before cell phones, right? So like early 90s, or at least before I could afford one, right?
Right.
Because the bag phone was out. And anyway, I go down to we're like, what are we gonna do, right? And so now my buddy's kind of looking at me like, do I really know somebody in the FBI, or is he maybe he's not as big time as we think, right, or something? Not that he said he was big time, just put shame on. Anyway, long story longer. I go to the parking garage for the FBI, and I see the security guy. I'm like, hey man, I'm trying to call my cousin. He works up here. He's like, what's his name? I give him the name. He looks on the authorized list. He's like, I don't see. Nope. Oh, there he is right there. He's like, I'll call. And I said, okay. So he calls and he hands me the phone. And I'm like, hey, what's up, man? And he's like, hey, are you downstairs? I said, yeah. He said, well, come on in. I said, well, they told me I'm not on a list. And they threw me into the feeder line. And when I went back, I said, listen, I'm sure they get it 1,000 times a day, right? I was like, so she was like, get lost. And he's like, go back. And I said, okay. So we hang up and we go back. And I'm like, hey, I was down at the parking garage. I called up. He told me to come back. She's like, listen, you're not on the. And then some lady comes running out. Oh my God, I have an updated list. We're so sorry. You two. She's like, she didn't know. Here's the updated list. They're on the updated list. She's like, you two come with me. Just come with me, guys. She's like, it's okay. That the lady had a look of horror. So my friend, not missing a beat, looks back and goes, I hope you don't like your day job. We went in and had an awesome behind the scenes tour, man. But it's just like the one time it worked out, you know what I mean? Like that lady came running out. Oh, they're on an updated list. And she just looked horrified, right? Like these guys actually did know somebody up there.
Right.
And
oh,
and
shit.
we got it.
Who is it?
Yeah. He's retired now. But yeah, I mean, he was pretty I didn't find these things out until later. So maybe at the time he wasn't, you know what I'm saying? But my sister's good friends with him. And so, she was, I guess he was pretty high level. He did tell me we were talking about DNA evidence. And what he told me, and it's not secret or anything, but he told me it's not exact. It doesn't give you the person. It doesn't tell you Lewis was there. He said, it tells you, he said, we can get it down to about 100 people. He said, that's what we can get it down to. He said, and then how many, he's like, or maybe even 1,000, right? He's like, but how many of those 1,000 are in that place at that time without an excuse or a reason? Right. He's like, so it's really accurate. And it's
rule out a lot of.
Exactly. He said, exactly. He said, so it's not like, your DNA's on it. It must be you. It's your DNA's on it and a whole bunch of other shit. He's like, so it's not conclusive. He said, but people think it is. And he goes, and that's why I have to testify on these things to explain how this works. And I'm like, and you're a dentist. Yeah. Isn't it awesome? He's like, so he was a dentist who opened his own practice, was doing very well from what my mother told me before she passed away. And he just got bored. Just kind of was like, this sucked. And there was an opening in the FBI for, a forensic dentist. And he was like, yeah. And then that led to, he said there's not a whole lot of forensic dentistry to do. So you pick up other hobbies. He's like, and, I got into the DNA research and started working in that lab and, became an expert in that. He's like, and so, dentistry and, whatever. So
you got a lot of smart people in your family, man.
I'm adopted.
What happened?
I am adopted.
But he sounds like one of them guys. If he was from Boston, he'd be wicked smart.
Yeah, I mean, they all retired in the DC area, so he's still there, and they're all over there. But It's just I mean, it's just people doing things, people living their lives.
I bet he's got some amazing stories.
Oh, he was down in Waco, man. It's uh and they say like I haven't talked to him in a while. I don't see him. I saw in my life I've probably seen him 5 times, right? Um
I
but my
bet you
mother my mother was very I'm sorry. What you saying?
I bet you I know somebody that might actually know him.
Oh, it's possible, man. I mean, my thing is like so when my mother got her nursing license, she couldn't get a job in her hometown. And so she went to Ohio and worked at the Ohio clinic and stayed with family there and got very close to that side of the family. And so that's how, like, I'll tell you, I'm going to tell you this. There was a study done that children who are spoken to about their family, whether they see them or not, by their parents, grow up with stronger family bonds than children who do not. Right? Like they maintain. So even just talking about family members to your children, like I tell my daughter, right? I have my father only has one more brother living. My Uncle Bob, and I tell her all the time, college baseball player, great catcher. Principal. You know what I mean? Likes this, doesn't like that, right? Keep her, in the loop on family, to help develop those bonds.
Makes
And
sense.
I bring that up because, out of my family, my parents on both sides made sure we visited all of the family as much as we could. So I know all of my relatives and they all know me. They do not all know each other. Like I have cousins who know cousins from just Christmas. You know what I mean? Like every 12th year. Like they've only seen each other a handful of times. Meanwhile, I was there every year. Now I was young and ADHD, so a lot of their memories of me aren't fond. But
I
I mean, point being is, strong family bonds translate.
They do, but I was just the opposite, and of course, I was being a byproduct of a military family.
Yeah.
So, no, it makes total sense. Sit there and think about it. It's kind of a no-brainer, really.
Right?
See what I did there?
I did see what you did. But anyway, I mean, it's all good stuff. All good stuff. It's good to be back. It's good to have the show again. We gotta do this again. We gotta do this again. We gotta do it again next week.
Yep.
Right?
Next week, I'll be on the road. Maybe we can get it done early.
Or maybe I'll log in and you join me.
Yeah, we can do that.
You could, what they call it? They used to JIP, join in progress. We're gonna JIP. You ever hear that?
No.
Rush Limbaugh used to say that all the time. We'll JIP it when they start talking.
We'll do it live.
Bill O'Reilly. Yeah, we'll do it live.
So I'm going to Pensacola for my buddy Marcelo's.
That's right. You're gonna drop in on my boy.
Yes, literally.
I'll have to get his address so you can.
It'll be easy. It's not a big place, man.
It's not?
No.
That's awesome. He told me his barracks, he said when you walk outside, there's palm trees. He said you could see the beach. I told him, stay off the military beach, man. You get a lot of wives just going to be in your ass, man. It's not a safe place until you figure out how to navigate the military. It's just not a safe place.
That's a fact. I probably know exactly the barracks that he's in.
Nice. I have a good friend down there. He was on my team. He was the A medic. He retired down in Pensacola, and he's an OR tech, chilling. He no desire to do any management, man. He said he likes scrubbing a couple cases for a little bit of cash. And
is he working at the Naval Hospital or out in town?
I think he's out in town.
Okay,
he's out in town.
Cool.
That's a good dude.
So we'll wrap it up, man. I'm excited to get down and be his master of ceremonies. First big trip in the new truck. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. Hey, that Hawk Tua girl, man, she's hot.
Whatever happened to her?
That's
15
it.
minutes ended
Yeah,
real
man.
quick, didn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Like I forget who said they were like, "Man, you're everywhere." And he's like, "Hey, you only get 15. I got to ride this train." And they were like, I respect the game. All right.
Yep, I'm not mad. Good on her, you know. At least she's not whining about how come she's not popular anymore.
She's not being held hostage by Israelis
And I'll leave that one alone completely.
on her boat.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, well,
If you're seeing this, I'm being held hostage by the Israeli government.
shame on her parents, man. Seriously.
I remember one time talking to a mutual friend of ours, and I was like, "Hey, this wasn't about Greta Thunberg, but this is what I think about Greta Thunberg." And I just remember saying to him, "Hey, would you hit that?" And he was like, "Hell yeah!" And I was like, "Seriously?" He was like, "Oh yeah, one of these, maybe one of these." He was like, "I don't know, maybe a knee." He was like, "Yeah, but yeah, I fucking hit it, closed fist and everything, man."
2x4. Well, before we wrap it up, I'll just tell Steve that keep talking a bunch of crap, and I will wear this tomorrow. I'm embarrassed to crap.
That's right.
Everybody. Don't give a shit. Yep. Tournament tomorrow for the boys should be our last 3-4 games of the season, and then we wrap it up. For
Nice.
Give them a break. More importantly, give us a break, and then get back to it in January.
Sounds good.
See you, senor. Anyway, any
right.
last famous words, sir?
I got nothing. Hey, don't forget, comment, click like down below. I know a couple of you, we used to get email regularly, and we're not getting it so much because we did take a long break, but we're back. We pick it up. You send it. Don't worry. I do reply to some. I read them all. I don't get a chance to reply to all of them, but I do reply to some. So, you can pick it back up again where the account's open. You can send your email. Don't forget, like us, click 5 stars, all that stuff, and we'll see you around, man.
Who reads your emails? I don't. Bye-bye.
I do.
You're listening to Nothing's Off
I
the
wanna hear
Table
from
with
Margarita
Andy
again.
Lou and Admiral